All right, so welcome to real estate rant number 1. So what I'm going to do on a daily basis, because I've been getting such great feedback on it, is as I'm getting my steps every day, as you guys know, I've done a total body transformation. I'll put some images up on the screen right now. As I walk, it's when I feel like I'm the most clear with my thoughts. And so I have done a lot of live videos inside of my coaching group. And sometimes it's when like the best thoughts can come out of my mind. And so today in rant number 1, I want to talk about 4 things really that I think about that probably have the biggest impact in a real estate agent's business. And I want to share those things with you today. So number 1 is, and it's probably the most important thing, it's not having enough conversations with people. When you boil it down, when you remove all of the bullshit, the reality is most of us are just not having enough conversations on a daily basis that equate to the amount of appointments that we need, that turn into the amount of contracts that we need, that turn into the amount of closings that we want, which ultimately drives our income. So it all boils back down to the number of daily conversations we're having every single day. For most of us, it's simply not even close to being enough. And so in these rants, I'm just going to be brutally honest. I just believe it's the only way to be. So that's number 1. Number 2 is not having the skill set to set appointments. So once you start having daily conversations, the next thing that I hear is, well, dude, I'm having 20, 30 conversations like you're recommending. It's taking me 3 to 4 hours a day, but I'm not getting appointments. Okay, cool. Well, now we're talking about skills. Because the success equation is your activities times your skills equals your success. So do you have this skill set? Do you understand how to show empathy over the phone? Do you know how to ask Socratic style questions over the phone? Do you know how to uncover motivation? Do you know how to respond to objections? Do you know how to remove a perceived threat to the prospect so we can lower their psychological reactance? Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to position an appointment in a way that serves the consumer so that the value of the appointment is a lot higher than what I think most agents are doing? So that's number 2. Number 3, having a compelling presentation. So you're having the conversations, you're setting appointments, and really, I don't care what the lead generation strategy is that leads you to the appointment. Do you have a compelling presentation that's delivered in a way that causes a seller to sign a contract? And if I ask most agents, hey, let's look at your listing presentation. Do you have it on camera that we can start to look at? I mean, the answer is always no, for the most part. Some of you have one, but most of the time it's no. And I say, well, how do you know what the sellers go through? How do you know the experience you're providing to the seller when you can't go back and watch your own game film? So let's get the listing presentation on camera. And then when we're in the presentation specifically, do we have a pricing strategy? So when I teach a pricing presentation, the basis of that is having a pricing strategy that causes the seller's home to be the obvious choice inside of the marketplace. Do you know how to do that with your clients' homes? Do you have a system and a strategy that virtually guarantees the home sells for the most money in the right amount of time? And now can you present that to the seller that compels them, that draws them in closer to you to want to hire you? Do you have a value offer that increases the certainty that you are in fact the right agent while decreasing their risk in hiring you? Do you have a value offer, value presentation that you can deliver that causes you to be the obvious choice as the agent to represent the seller in the sale of their home? So these are the two things inside of your presentation that I see most agents really struggle with. And then number 4, are you tracking your numbers? Do you track your numbers so you can look at those 3 KPIs, the number of people I'm talking to daily, the amount of appointments I'm setting, the amount of appointments I'm actually going on and keeping, the amount of presentations I give, the amount of contracts I take, the amount of listings I sell. And for most, if we're being honest, we don't track that stuff. So if we don't track, how do we know that we are A, doing what we must to align ourselves with the goals that we've set? So here's what I want you to think about. If you have a goal to make X dollars, help X amount of families, do whatever your goal is, how do you know for certain that your daily behavior, what you're doing, the daily actions that you're taking are aligned with that goal? That if you keep doing what you're doing right now every day, that when you get to the end of the year, how do you know you're going to hit that goal at the end of the year or not without tracking your numbers? And the answer is we don't. We don't know. So if we want what gets measured gets improved. You've heard that 1,000 times. Okay, cool. So why aren't we doing it? And that will probably lead me into another rant. So welcome to rant 1. Let me know your guys' thoughts, questions, topics. That's the key thing I need from you guys. As I start to do more and more and more of these, and these are going to be raw, authentic, no holds bar. I'm not going to worry about, should I say this? Should I say that? I'm just going to speak from the heart and just kind of tell you guys what's on my mind as I get these 15, 20,000 steps a day, while I continue to, for myself, create the best version of myself through health and fitness, because without that, we can't serve the people that we love. You guys know that. So hopefully through this, I can talk a little bit about the health and fitness side of things, and so what it's done to transform me as a person. And so let me know what topics you guys want to hear me talk about and rant on. We'll talk to you guys soon.